Hey guys, welcome back. It's so good to see you again. This is my first time filming since the new year. If you saw my community update, you'll know that I had pneumonia and I was out for like an entire month. So we're getting back into the swing of things. And I feel like it's after the holidays, you have so much going on, or you just have a random day off work and you're like, I need to do everything, but I don't have time. So what exactly do I need to do? And how do I figure that out? But I don't physically have the time to do them all right now. So which one do you choose? Sometimes I spend more time trying to choose. This video hits so much home with me because I have a really hard time and I get so overwhelmed. And anyways, but today I'm using a list and a scale. So the very first thing we're going to do today is we're going to walk through the house quickly, write down the tasks that you think that need done in every room. This isn't a time to get too detailed or too picky, especially if you have a rather large mess. Just pick the areas that are truly bothersome to you on a regular basis, that are kind of in the way of everyday living, and just try to limit it to 20 items or less. This is also you'll have this list, you can come back to it next time that you're trying to figure out what to do. The next thing you want to do is check your list, pick no more than 5 that seem realistic or like they need to be done first. So looking at my list, I have clothes, I have my clothes, my kids' clothes, I have toys. We got new toys for Christmas and our toys were already a disaster. I've noticed the nightstand in my room, in my bedroom, the dresser has some stuff piled on it that it drives me insane. I have some freezer situations. I just cleaned out my fridge in the last video, and my freezers really need that. My pantry, digital files, oh my gosh, it's so bad. I have these extra bowls floating around from the holidays, and I'm not sure where they go back home. My garage is out of control. Books are always a problem. Where I keep my candles is terrible. I need to repot my plants. They're about to bust out of their pots. And then Christmas stuff and YouTube equipment, always an issue. So I have these issues, and some of these need reorganized, some need decluttered, some need, I don't even know what they need. But those are my things that are problematic for me. And now I'm going to take a minute and I want to score those out. So this part should take you less than 10 minutes total. Don't spend a lot of time here. Again, that's where you keep yourself on task, okay? And you don't let yourself get stuck in overthinking. And you'll have time later to get back to all the other tasks. If you don't waste time spinning your wheels deciding which one to do, you already have more time working on the actual problem. Something else that I've also noticed that I've been kind of working on in this last year is being able to direct my energy in one direction and keeping it directed in that direction and not letting it be split and going back and forth, because I feel like I waste a lot of time. Like I'll start something and I'll be like, oh, I should probably be doing this. And so I'll kind of like go over this way and I'm like, no, I should probably be doing this. And then so I'm going back and forth. And if I could just keep my energy focused and do the one thing, that a lot of times it'll just get done a lot faster. And then I can move on to the other thing. I think this is like a mom thing, a woman thing, the multitasking. But it's not even just multitasking. It's more of indecision. Like, I should be directing my energy here. No, I should be directing it here. So this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to tackle this problem of indecision so that we can really direct our energy and make the most of it. So then, here's my score sheet. And obviously, everybody might be a little bit different. I think that one thing is important to note that might be a little bit confusing. Intuitively, you might think that something taking 2+ hours might rate you a level 5. But so you want to weight things like to where the highest scoring item means that you're more likely to do it right now. It's a little confusing, but if you want to add your own things to the list, just try to make sure the highest score means it's something that would encourage you to do that right now as opposed to later. Is there a hard deadline approaching? Meaning, does the mess have to be cleaned up by a certain date? Period. You could add a middle in there maybe, but feel free to change this any way you want. Is this mess interfering with daily routines? No, it's not at all. It is a little bit. Middle ground, it is a lot. Can't do your usual routines. Then that means we need to get working on this right now, right? How long will it be before I have to do it again? This one kind of came up because I was thinking about, like, if I put the Christmas stuff away then if I put the Christmas stuff away, then I won't have to deal with that again for 10 months. Or I give that a 10 points, because some things, like if you have to make your bed, you're going to do it again the next day. I have to do my clothes every couple of months. So anyways, so for me, the longer I get of relief before the time I have to do it again, the more exciting. Like if I get this thing done, it will be out of the way for a long period of time. So how many hours will it take? This will depend, obviously, this kind of depends on how much time you have. But for, anything that's less than 30 minutes, you pretty much do that any day of the week. So how complex is the task? Do the items have home? Will I need to reorganize? For me, once again, if it's super easy to put things away, then you could probably do this task any day of the week. So let's go ahead and get it done. Is the mess in a high visibility or high traffic area? I made a mistake on that, but if it's out of sight, then it's a little less important. But if it's in your highest visibility area, let's go ahead and score that a 5. Let's get that done. Let's get those things that you're looking at all the time off the radar a little bit. Is this mess solely your responsibility, and is it also impacting others negatively? I couldn't really figure out how to score this one, but if it's your responsibility and it's also impacting your whole household and it's solely your responsibility, the right thing to do is to go ahead and get that mess cleaned up and try to figure that out, not just for you, but for everybody. It's kind of not fair, right? You wouldn't want somebody else imposing their mess on you. So that's just kind of where I'm going with that. All right, so you can see how I rated my items. I decided that putting away the Christmas items that were overlooked in the first go around. So I already had my tree and I already had the big stuff up, but what I didn't have is like, the little random things that get left out. I decided that putting those things up would have the most impact. I had a couple totes that got forgotten, and some things I had set aside for decluttering or consignment next year. And anyways, so I just had like these kind of random places, and I'm like, these need to go away. And mostly because something that once it's done, I don't have to deal with this again for 10 months. And so that's a big weight off my shoulders for 10 months. And because there aren't a lot of complicated problems to solve with this one either. The items mostly have designated storage space. I had taken them out recently. They will go back into their storage spaces. And so there's not a lot of complicated organizing or decluttering. It was a really good fit for the amount of time that I had to work with today. So I had a couple hours. And I knew that I could get this done in that amount of time. And it does kind of have a little bit of a deadline because, come on, it's Christmas stuff. So even if you don't have a ton of company or other people that are living in your house, I still feel like there's a little bit of this ping of shame. And if you don't feel it, don't make yourself feel it. Shame is not good for you. But there's this little, shame is not fun. But for me, there's a little ping of shame. If I'm staring at my Christmas stuff piled up in the living room in March, it kind of just doesn't make me feel as good about what I'm doing with my life than if the Christmas stuff was back where it needed to be. So, but for me, all of my stuff had been piled up in a high visibility area. So everyone in my house was working around it or walking around it. Even if it was kind of pushed out of the walkway enough, we still had to look at it. And it was the first thing you saw when you came in the door. So that was how I figured out what I wanted to work on today. This is what I worked on. And I'm so curious what other factors you guys would add to the list or how you would change the list at all. Feel free to give me some pointers. This was kind of a rough draft, and I would like to make it pretty and maybe make it printable. For you all, I didn't have time. I did this on the fly, so I did the best that I could with what I had, with the amount of time and resources I had to work with today. So, but that's all for now. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.